Hey, what's up, guys? How we? Oh wait.
Yep. Now you can start. We can cut that part out. So get everything ready. Now you can just get everything ready, and then yep. You got all the tabs you need up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, hey guys, how we doing today? My name is John. This is gonna be my first YouTube video. On this channel, we're gonna be talking about sports, mainly NFL. This is my first video, so just bear with me. We're going to be doing a mock draft today for fantasy football. I'm very excited for the season coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get into it. I'm doing a PPR league, and I got a 12-man league here. I'm doing mostly Sims for the other teams. So it is a PPR as well. So we're going to focus on players that get the ball the most. What I personally like to do, I'll show you guys here. So this is my draft order I like to do in a PPR league. I feel that running back should be taken first always because it's the rarest position. What I really like to go for is our running backs that catch a lot because that's where you're going to get the most points. Those are the guys that touch the ball the most besides the quarterback. All right, so we do running back first, then we grab wide receiver, and then I like to double up on the running backs after that. I really like to go for running backs first because I feel like they go the fastest, and there's not as many running backs in the NFL as there are wide receivers. So that's where you can kind of grab them a little bit later. All right, so let's start this mock draft real quick. I'm in the 10th spot. All right, so we're going to go running back, and we have Derrick Henry available. That's not really that hard of a decision. Derrick Henry was an absolute beast last year, as you can see by the numbers here. He averaged about, want to say like 14, 15 points a game. That's what I really like to see with fantasy. I love consistency, so I'm going to go ahead and take Derrick Henry at the first spot. Wrap around, so now we're going to grab a wide receiver, according to my little list there. Out of the guys here, obviously my eyes go right to A.J. Brown. Absolute beast. Not really gonna. They didn't really make any offseason changes in the wide receiver position. He's their main guy. He did miss a little time in the beginning of the year, but after that, as you can see, this consistency here. 16, 16, 17, 16, 15 here, 16. Love consistency. Love A.J. Brown. Gonna snag him right here. So far we got Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. So it's looking pretty good right now. I do like that. So when we come back, we already got the wide receiver. We're gonna go back to running back. See what we can get here. All right, looks like we got Breece Hall. I'm definitely not going to take Breece Hall. He plays for the Jets, so we're going to just skip that. And then we got James Cook. Now, James Cook is definitely an upcoming running back who's, he's kind of shed the rookie vibe, if you know what I mean. Like, he's definitely got a little experience now in the NFL. And he's not bad. He's not a bad running back. I think he had good numbers last year. So he's another consistent running back. See 13, 14, 13, 13. I really emphasize consistency because I'd rather have guys that can always get me that 13 or 14 a week. If you get a bunch of guys that can do that consistently, you're going to be at the top of your league no matter what. So, what I also is kind of a what's it called? Eye candy here is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is now going to be 30 years old, not too old for a running back, but definitely not going to be kind of working towards like the end of his prime for sure. However, last year I did have him on my fantasy team, and he was one of the best running backs in the league. As you can see, his numbers here are 13, 18, 15, 17, 16, 18, 16, 19. Honestly, looking at all these 19s, a 20 down here, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Alvin Kamara. I know James Cook is young and he's definitely getting more experience, but someone like Alvin Kamara, I'd love to have on my team as my running back too. So I'm going to go ahead and take him there. So far, our team is Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Alvin Kamara. It's looking really not that bad at all. So we did the running back here. We're going to go with another running back for the flex. Let's see what we got. We still have James Cook available. And we have Kenneth Walker here as well. And I do I'm looking down here, and we see we have James Conner. Mm-hmm. I do like James Conner as well. Seems like he averages around, I want to say 13 to 14 points a game. I like that. James Conner is also 30 years old. So, we don't always want to take the 30-year-olds. We want to take, for running backs, we want to take like 26 to 28. But if you are putting up numbers like this, I don't think that, really anything's going to change. They don't really have any other running back options in Arizona. So, I do also see Kenneth Walker here. Not bad, but definitely missed some games in the beginning of the season and the end of the season. I don't really like that much. You can't. He is young, but it's a little bit risky. It seems like he's been injured a couple times already. So I think I'm gonna take. Either James Cook or James Conner. One of the Jameses. I think I'm just going to go with James Cook because he has a better team, a better quarterback. He'll be at the goal line more, more opportunities. That's really what you want here. So I'll go with James Cook as my flex. All right, so I'm going to get the wraparound here. I'm going to go back to wide receiver. So let's see what we got left here. Still a lot of great value in wide receivers here. This is why I always stick to this. Plan here because I know I can grab a good wide receiver late because there's a lot of them. So right now we're back. We have Devontae Smith available, and we also have Jalen Waddle available. Jordan Addison, who I think is going to be even better this year with the new quarterback they got, McCarthy. I think he's going to have a great year. Didn't put up that big numbers, but that's just I think that's mostly because they had Sam Darnold as the starter. Sam Darnold is not really that great. I think he just had a good year last year because they had a really good offensive line and Justin Jefferson. I don't think we could pass on Devontae Smith. Oh, but I forgot I have A.J. Brown, so I can't take Devontae Smith. Definitely not. Can't have both Eagles players. I'm not doing Travis Hunter. He's a rookie. I think I'm gonna go Jalen Waddle here. I think I'm gonna have to go Jalen Waddle. Let's see. Not bad. A little low on the numbers. He's averaging. I want to say like maybe 12 a game. That's not bad for a second wide receiver. Yeah, I'll go Jalen Waddle here. All right, what do we got next? Quarterback. This is where it gets interesting. All right. Now, if you know me, which this is my first video, so you don't really know me that well. I do have a Colts hat on. I'm a huge Colts fan. I know everybody talks trash about Anthony Richardson, but I still have a lot of faith in the kid. I think that he's still very young, and he's got a lot more time in the NFL ahead of him. Just give him some time. But Patrick Mahomes, obviously known as the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Even though they had a really tough loss in the Super Bowl last year, I don't see Mahomes, not being an elite quarterback in the league again. He's very consistent with his fantasy numbers. So we got 23, 24, 23, 19, 20, 20, 20, 20. Like I said, I love consistency personally. And if outside of Patrick Mahomes, you got Baker Mayfield, you got Bo Nix, who might be a great pick this year, honestly. You like to take guys that also use their legs as well. And out of all these guys here, Patrick Mahomes has the best combination of using his legs and completing passes and throwing touchdown passes. And also, he runs in touchdowns. So, it's really, I don't have to explain that much. It's Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. All right, what do we got next? Another wide receiver. Okay, let's see what we got. Who are we going to get? Okay, we got some interesting people left here. Let's see. Khalil Shakur. How did he do last year? Not bad. He started off a little slow. He started off a little bit slow, but I think that him and Josh Allen started getting some connections here. That he increased his numbers towards the end of the year, and they were consistent. So I do like that. Let me just take a look at the Bills' depth chart because I'm not really sure who they have at wide receiver. I don't remember. All right, so Khalil Shakur's the number one guy, and they got Keon Coleman, and Joshua Palmer, who I think used to be on the Chargers. And I can't believe, Curtis Samuel. I thought he was going to be a big threat for them, but they didn't really give it to him that much last year. Khalil Shakur is not bad. If you're Josh Allen's number one guy and you're putting up numbers like that, I'll take you. So Deebo Samuel, injury prone. Obviously, everybody knows that. Deebo Samuel has been injured, more times than you can count. He's also getting up there in age, and when he's putting up numbers, he's putting up numbers. But it's just too risky. Like you never know when that guy's gonna be hurt for real. He's just had so many injuries in his career, and putting up 10, 11, it's not really that great. I know he's on the Commanders now, but I hate taking people that have injury history. I can't do it. Cooper Kupp as well. You never know what's going to happen. And, guys that have had, troubled injury pasts, you can't really trust it. He was out for 5 games last year. So, 6 at the end. Diggs got hurt. I think he started doing some white stuff on a boat with some white girls, I don't know if I want to get into that this season. I do like Jaden Reed. I had Jaden Reed as my bench player last year. He wasn't bad at all. He was honestly the best bench player I had. Look at these numbers. 12, 16, 13, 14, 13, 12, 12. Good bench player. I think he'll probably pick up even more this year. But, I do like Khalil Shakur and Josh Allen. That's probably the best bet right now. All right, got another wide receiver here. Let's stay on this page. All right, so we wrapped around. We still have a lot of guys available. I think I'm gonna take Jaden Reed. I think I'm gonna take Jaden Reed. He's he's on my bench last year. He helped me out last year. I don't know why I wouldn't stick with him. All right, so now we got tight ends. See what tight ends they got left. David Njoku. Love David Njoku. If we can, all right, they took him. All right. Kyle Pitts. If you guys play fantasy football, you know who this is. And it is extremely bittersweet to know who Kyle Pitts is because this guy should have been one of the best tight ends for the past 3 or 4 years. And, it just never works out. It never works out for him. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. There must be a curse or something. His name is Kyle. I don't know. But should just be so much better. Everybody takes him every year. Everybody that gets him knows the pain of drafting Kyle Pitts on their fantasy team. And you know what? I'm that guy. I'm still that guy. I still believe. They do have Michael Penix this year. They're starting Michael Penix. I heard some preseason rumors that he's getting the ball a lot. I know I'm jumping into the hole again, but I'll do it till I die. Kyle Pitts, man. I'll take Kyle Pitts. All right, what do we got next? Tight end. Gotta go defense. Defense. All right, so out of these teams, love the Steelers. They are the most consistent defense in the league. We just want like an average of 10, and like that's what they get. They get an average of 10 here. You see they get 12, 13, 10, 12, 15. They got a low 3 here, but they do have numbers like 15, 15. They got a 17 here, 2 8s, and 9 at the end. I love the Steelers here. I'll take the Steelers. All right, so let's take a look at the roster here. I'm going to pull this up. Okay. So we got quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Best quarterback in the league. We're talking about rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, passing yards, consistent basically every single game. Derrick Henry. I think he got 20 touchdowns last year, maybe 22. Still a beast. Still in his prime. 31, I don't even care, man. This guy's a freaking freight train. Another thing I heard this year is why I'm high on Derrick Henry is I heard Lamar Jackson's over-under for his rushing touchdowns this year was only 4.5. That's pretty low for Lamar Jackson. So I think the books know a little bit something that we don't, as to where I think Derrick Henry's going to get the ball a lot more consistently in the red zone. So I do like that. We got Alvin Kamara, pass catching running back. This guy just gets points, man. This guy gets points. He gets touchdowns. He catches the ball. He does everything for this team. I don't think that they would even have a win last year if he wasn't on this team. Love Alvin Kamara. A.J. Brown, we know who this is. A.J. Brown. Consistency. Got to get consistency, guys. I'm telling you, I've done fantasy football for a long time, and if you just go with the guys that, put up big games every once in a while, like you could get someone like, he didn't do it last year, but Tyreek Hill used to be one of those guys that would be 50 points or 0 points. Well, not 0, but 50 points or probably like 10 or something like that. You just want guys that are going to give you consistent high numbers every single game. And if you look here, he's averaging 16 points, I want to say. 16 points, maybe more. Maybe 16 and a half. So I really like that. Jalen Waddle, I didn't love this pick. I did not love this pick because Tua is so inconsistent on the field. I don't mean to be like a jerk or anything, but this guy just can't stay healthy. Obviously, he's got the the head trauma from the hits that he took last year and the year before that, and it's just you don't know what's going to happen with that. But there wasn't really anybody else on the board that I really wanted to take at this spot. I do have Khalil Shakur here, and I could swap him out as my second wide receiver and then throw in Jaden Reed in the flex. I do like Jaden Reed this year. I think he's going to actually have a better season than he did last year, and his season last year was pretty solid. I don't even think he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He got 6 touchdowns last year, and he's only 25. So he's going into his 3rd year. I like him. I really could see him as a starter next fantasy season after this one. I think that he will be at least a wide receiver 2 in a lot of leagues next year. So I could do that. I could put him in my second flex and then move Shakur up to my second wide receiver spot here. All right, and then we got Kyle Pitts. This is gonna be a boom or a bust completely. It's either gonna be a huge boom or a huge bust. And let me tell you something, guys. I know that maybe not necessarily this is the pick that you should go with for your boom or bust, but every single fantasy team, you need to have at least one guy that's going to be the difference maker. And it needs to be a surprise. It needs to be a sleeper. You always need one guy. Like I said, you need to have consistency. But also, you do need to have at least one player who you really believe. You need to take a gamble. And you need to have at least one guy that you really believe is going to make the difference on your team that nobody else knows about. Because if you have the X factor on your team like that kind of goes under the radar, you're going to have a very good season. You're going to get a lot of points. All right. So whether that's Kyle Pitts for me, obviously, that's a huge risk. It's probably the biggest risk of the draft every single year. It could be somebody like Ladd McConkey, right, on the Chargers. That kid did amazing last year. Nobody knew who he was. If you drafted him, good for you. You did your research. You made the right call. He was one of those guys last year that flew under the radar, but had a really good season last year. And he probably made the difference for your team. And if you had a consistent team and you had that guy on your team, he probably got you far in the playoffs, if not won you the league. So just try to find guys that nobody really is giving a second look to, and that you have a feeling and you've done your research and you know they're going to get the ball a lot and they're going to do great things with it. All right, so we got James Cook. Like I said before, Josh Allen on the team. The Bills have always been, the Bills of the past couple of years have been a great regular season team. He's not, in my eyes, he's not really like a top 5 running back in the league. You got like Derrick Henry, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor. Like those guys in my eyes are top guys. But, James Cook, he's very solid. And when he gets in the red zone, which the Bills will, I think he will have a lot of opportunity, and I think he will be able to be consistent and take advantage of the opportunity basically. And he is going into his 4th year, so that is really great. Khalil Shakur, so this is Josh Allen's number 1 wide receiver. Like I was looking at last year, he wasn't really that great in the beginning, but towards the end of the season, he started consistently getting 13, 12, 14, 13, 14. Those are like numbers we like to see. I like to see consistency and around the 13, 14, 15 area. So that's pretty good. Steelers defense, I do like this pick. Steelers always have a very solid defense. And, you guys might be saying, like, oh, like, this is so safe. Like, come on, like, everybody probably, like, expects these picks. Like, these are the consensus picks. But, like, if you think about it, why would you not take the consensus picks? They are the most consistent. If you want to win, you need consistency. You need your team to be putting up at least 100 points a week. That's for the regular ESPN stat system. You want to get at least 100 points a week. If you go under 100 points a week, you're either going to get lucky because your opponent did even worse, or you're not going to win. So we just want this to add up to 100 basically. And we got Jaden Reed. We already talked about that. Okay, so yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. If you have any comments about it, just jot something down. This is my first YouTube video, so please be easy on me. I'm going to try to do this consistently over the season. My name is John, and welcome to the channel.